So tuna sweetcorn melt. Worked in this wee place 2 mornings a week while I was in the States, and I thought, God, like what an awful combination, like a hot grilled tuna sandwich, you know. Incredibly popular though. So I suppose the more years I stayed in the States, I realised that that's what people liked or whatever. So taking it back, living in Granard here now, I drive right through the middle of Pat the Baker's every night. So just using simple sliced pan, and I'm going to put some lovely Gourbine cheese from Cork in there. And very, very simple. And the key, as you'll see, is butter the outside of the bread. Lovely crisp toasty. First things first, we're just going to get some tuna. Now, I'm just using tin tuna. It's absolutely fine when it comes to sandwich, just like this, okay? So one small tin of tuna, and again, a Sweetcorn, and one of the little half tins. Like, so one of the little tins will do about 4 sandwiches, okay? And again, one small tin of tuna would do 1 sandwich, okay? So you can kind of work from there. You'll know yourself how thick you want to have it. I mean, I know in the States back in the day, they like the sandwiches to be quite thick, you know, it's a wee bit more reserved in Ireland, but whatever suits you. So, in like so, and I'm just going to take a little bit of white pepper and a tiny little bit of white pepper and a tiny little bit of salt. Okay, mix it well, set it aside. I'm just going to grab one little bit of scallion, okay? So on the bias, nice and thin, okay? So at a little angle, just because it looks better. So almost 1 full scallion, and like so. You can use a little bit of red onion. I tend to find white onion is just a wee bit too harsh. So very, very finely diced shallot or red onion. But scallion would be my preference, okay? So a nice little mix like so. And there you have it. Okay, so set that aside. I'm going to turn on the pan because again we want a little bit of heat in the pan, a non-stick pan, okay? And then we'll move on to the bread. Now, you could use like thick sourdough or what have you for this dish, okay? But I'm going to use the Pat the Baker. Every night I come home from work, I'm living in Granard, I drive right through the middle of the bakery. So whenever possible, I love just use this here, okay? Whether it be just toast or what have you, or just a sandwich, this is ideal. Now the key thing with a grilled sandwich, okay, and this is the one where when it comes to toasties as well, and I always remember telling my mum back in the day, like, don't put butter on the inside, put butter on the outside. She thought I was crazy, okay? But this is what makes the toasty, okay? So on with the bread, and a nice thin layer. I'm going to put a wee bit more butter in the pan just to help with the non-stick. So on with some butter. Flick it over. Second slice, same. So butter side down on buttered side. Go back to our mix. Take it away, and then a little bit of butter into the pan as well. We want that to melt, okay? So then buttered side down, take it back, and your butter side facing back up again, okay? So we'll let that cook away there. I'm going to move on to a little dressing. We'll serve this with a little bit of salad, okay? Now, the key thing with any dressing is 1 part vinegar, 3 parts oil, okay? So a little bit of red wine vinegar, 20-30 mils. I'm going to be making a small little batch of this, okay? In with that. And then about a half a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. The same. About a teaspoon of whole grain mustard. It's not as harsh, the whole grain, so you can use that a little bit extra, okay? Now, and with a little squeeze of honey, okay? So just about a teaspoon's worth of honey as well, okay? So then you can whisk it nice and gently. And then key thing is it's handy to use a blender because you just want to incorporate the oil nice and slowly, okay? And you'll find just as you're going, it's emulsifying and thickening as you add the oil, okay? That'll do. And now you just want to check on the sandwich, okay? Turn it around. Set this aside. Take a few bits of tomato. I'm just going to make a little tomato salad. Mixed leaves, tomato, and some scallion, okay? Set this aside. Take another little bit of scallion. Take away the caps. And then straight into our bowl with the dressing. Tiny bit of seasoning. Okay, so now just going to take a little bit of cheese. Now, you can add the cheese right at the beginning, okay, but what I find sometimes, you add the cheese too early, it melts out, goes all over the pan, and it tends to burn easily, okay? So again, a little bit of cheese. I'm just using a lovely Gubin cheese here, okay, from Cork. So stick that in. Now, while that's in there, I'm just going to set this back on, and that's going to incorporate enough heat coming through it, okay, to help melt it. And while we get the salad onto our serving tray, there'll be enough heat coming through that then to melt the cheese sufficiently, okay? So on with our dressing, just like so, okay? Set this aside. Take our sandwich back off. And whenever you're slicing it, let the weight of the knife do the work, okay? Don't be pressing down on the bread. So use a serrated blade, okay? And then one flat, two standing, and the second one flat. And there we have it. A little Gubin, tuna, and sweet corn melt. Beautiful.